He has agreed to share a few minutes with us today. U.S. Senator John Kennedy joining us on the line. Sir, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Bernie. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning, Senator.
We have so many questions to try to talk with you about, but I saw this letter the other day, and just glad you could make some time for us. I know it's crazy busy. So tell me about your letter to Governor John Bel Edwards about Medicaid and your thoughts. I think people appreciate the fact that you never hold back, and you say things that need to be said. What'd you say?
I sent Governor Edwards a letter. I asked him to ask permission from President Trump, who has said he would say yes, to implement a work requirement for Medicaid, for adults on Medicaid. The purpose is not to throw anybody out in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose is to help people who are able to work get a job so they don't need Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it would work. If you're between the ages of 18 and 55 and you have no children and you're not disabled, then in order to receive free health care from taxpayers, you have to agree to work 20 hours a week. We will get you a job, or go to job training, or if you don't want to do that, do community service. The University of New Hampshire has done an exhaustive study and found that 31% of all of the adults on Medicaid meet those criteria. In other words, they're able-bodied, they're adults, they're not disabled. We're not talking about a mother with a sick child in her arms.
Right. This is people with no kids.
We're not talking about asking grandpa to leave the nursing home in a wheelchair and go to work. You've got to be relatively young, 18 to 55, able-bodied, and no children.
So what kind of reception did you get? Any notes back? Did you get a call?
I got nothing. Zero, nada. I don't think Governor Edwards likes the idea. We have the same rule for food stamps,
mm-hmm.
but the federal statute requiring it allows a governor to waive the requirement, to not implement the work requirement for food stamps if he wants to. And Governor Edwards eliminated the work requirement for food stamps in Louisiana. And I asked him not to. He did that back when I think I was state treasurer then.
Yeah.
And I wrote him a letter and I said, John Bel, you're making a mistake here. This is good for the folks on Medicaid. Who wants to be dependent on government all the time? And if you're able to work, we'll help you get a job. And he said, no, I'm going to do it. Now, President Trump wrote Governor Edwards back in March and said, look, if you'll ask for permission, we'll grant it. It'll be good for the folks on Medicaid. The idea being get them a job so eventually they'll need Medicaid. And it'll be good for taxpayers because right now we are spending 47%, half of Louisiana's $29 billion budget on Medicaid.
Whoa, no kidding.
And that is one of the reasons we don't have enough money for the University of Louisiana, for roads, for public safety, for our schools. And again, we don't want to throw anybody out in the cold.
No.
But these social programs were meant to be bridges. They've become parking lots.
So 47% of Louisiana's budget is spent on Medicaid.
Yep, and Governor Edwards says, don't worry, it's all federal money.
Oh, right, but
well, it's not. It's not.
Payers, but so what part do you mean it's not? Tell us more.
Well, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We spend $12.5 billion on Medicaid.
Okay.
Now, most of that is federal money. But to get that federal money, we have to put up $3.3 billion of state money
Uh-huh.
Wow.
to track the federal money. Now, that $3.3 billion, every penny of it comes out of the hide of our universities and our road budget and our budget for our public schools. So obviously, if you can save money, that benefit will inure directly to the state. And this is up. When Governor Jindal became governor, we were only spending about $1.5 billion of state money to attract the federal money. Now it's $3.3 billion.
Wow.
It's going up 13% a year, and that's the state money.
Now, is that because of that Medicaid expansion?
Part of it.
Part of it.
And
okay.
part of it is just more and more people are signing up for Medicaid. Now, if folks need it, the American people are incredibly generous. If you're too sick or too poor to pay for a doctor, we'll get you a doctor. We're not going to let anybody die in our country. But if you can work but are choosing not to, then we will help you get a job. We won't cut off your Medicaid. We'll help you get a job. And hopefully after you know the dignity of work and the dignity of being self-sufficient and you become gainfully employed, move up in the company, you don't need Medicaid. That's the idea anyway, and it'll work. Other states are doing it. Indiana is seeking permission. Arkansas, Kentucky, Arizona, Wisconsin, other states are going, man, this is a great idea. And Governor Edwards, I can't get an answer from him. I know he's busy, but this will save money for taxpayers, and it'll be really good for the people who can work, but for whatever reason are choosing not to.
Well, and Senator, I have to ask, this seems like some common sense legislation to save money for our state's budget, and you mentioned other states are doing so as well. But there was one part of the letter I noticed. It says Kentucky and Arizona are seeking permission to require Medicaid enrollees to report changes in their income that would exceed the Medicaid limits. That just seems like common sense. Shouldn't that be set up in every state across the nation?
It should, Derek. In addition to the work requirement, I sent Governor Edwards 6 other ideas. They're not anything original. I copied them from other states. I just copy. I said, look,
that's what I love about you.
Other states are doing.
That's what I love about you. You know what? You go out and find something. If it's working, you're like, hey, look, let's look at it.
I mean, it's I mean, I give full credit to the other states. They've seized the moment. And for the life of me, I just don't understand why John Bel won't do it. It's a win-win for taxpayers and for the folks on that. Nobody wants to be dependent on the government.
No.
When you can stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah. And like you said, it's only affecting people. This would only apply to people who are able-bodied. It doesn't apply if you have kids. It doesn't apply if you're, disabled. It's 18 to 55. There's a lot of folks in that category who, I'm sorry, they need to be working, show their proof of work, show what they're doing.
Well, sometimes the best way to get back on your feet is to get off your rear end.
Well,
that's about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just the way it works. And I don't understand why the governor won't embrace it. But he won't. I understand that he and President Trump are not best buddies.
Right.
But President Trump is the president of the United States. He won. Secretary Clinton lost. And I know the governor was a big supporter of Secretary Clinton. She lost. And this is America, and the winner becomes president. And just because it's President Trump's idea, I don't think the governor ought to just completely ignore it.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, John Bel, look, he can have full credit for this.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll eventually get back to me. But so far, he and Dr. Gee, who she runs the Medicaid program, are being very, very resistant.
Well, it is a fascinating idea. It's a very interesting discussion. Sir, I guess the only way for people to get involved is for them to speak out if they agree or disagree. I'm assuming.
Call their legislature.
Yeah.
Legislator. I mean, the legislature can sure encourage the governor to do it. They're sitting there all in Baton Rouge right now the governor's trying to get them to raise taxes again after raising $1.8 billion in taxes last year. This is a way to save money so they don't have to raise taxes.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're spending, and I want to say again, we're spending half of our budget. People don't realize that. And all that money comes out of the hide of our universities.
Yeah, it certainly does.
And Senator, have you heard anything from Baton Rouge? I know the legislators met last week in a closed-door session to talk about this budget, try to close this hole. Have you heard any talk about this possibly coming to fruition, that we can cut some of this $3.3 billion?
I've had some legislators tell me they think it's a wonderful idea. You'll probably see legislation, but they really need the governor's help here, because he could veto any bill.
Right.
And I'm not even sure the governor needs a bill from the legislature. I think he can do this on his own.
Wow.
But I don't think he is, so they may have to try to pass a bill. The worry is that the governor would veto it.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Well, U.S. Senator John Kennedy has been joining us. Sir, thank you so much for the allotment of time this morning talking to us about this and sharing the facts and information. We do appreciate the time, sir. I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, Bernie. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you, Senator.
Take care, sir.